What probably slightly annoyed prehistoric humans? Going to your favorite fruit tree or berry bush and finding someone else has already picked it clean. Legit. Same with a mushroom patch. Fleas and lice were a constant back then, but I can't imagine ever really getting used to them. When you wake up in the morning and you roll out of your pile of leaves and hay, and your feet touch the freezing cold rock cave floor. First world problems. Accidentally chipping a bit too hard when you're finishing up a spearhead and ruining it. When you leave Grog to watch the fire and he falls asleep and lets it go out, and you have to start it all over again. Being called a Neanderthal fucker when we all know there is nothing wrong with that actually. Fun fact. All human beings who have roots outside of sub-Saharan Africa have some Neanderthal DNA. Animals fucking with their stuff. A week ago I read an article about how people who work from home because of COVID are terrorized by their pets while working, so this is not specific to prehistory. My housemate's cat literally knocks on my door until I let her in. Then she does one lap of my room and fucks off. Routine inspection. Having to poop outside the cave when it was raining. People pooped in pots and kept them under their beds until the 19th century. I'm not sure prehistoric humans had raised beds. Biting the inside of their mouth while chewing. I'm sure this is still a common occurrence in rave clubs today. When the wind turns at the wrong moment during a hunt. Persistence hunting was a method of hunting used. They would go after the animal until it was too tired to continue running. When I first read about this, I thought, they tracked an animal for 3 days before it collapsed? But then they'd have to carry it for 3 days back to camp. Then I realized they would have flushed it back toward camp, and just circled it around and around till it collapsed. Then it's just a short radius length walk back to camp. For anybody who doesn't know, while we may be slow runners, our legs are very efficient and allow a fit and trained person to run for hours. IRC, we are second only to sled dogs in terms of endurance running. So we could continuously track an animal until it physically can't run from us anymore. Imagine that nightmare for the animal you run from. Scary humans. Think you're safe, so you start resting. Oh crap, they're back. Gotta run some more. Basically a prehistoric T-1000. All these young people, growing their own food and raising animals. I heard that OK's boys stopped traveling altogether, just living in one place. It's making man weak. Make Unga Bunga great again. The courting for your favorite bead shell necklace breaking. Someone mistaking your favorite pointed stick for the fire stirrer. Your kid running off with that really nice sharp rock and losing it in the river. A fucking cave bear coming up on the deer you just downed. All that work and that fucker's gonna take the fruit of the labor. The kid putting a bad berry in their mouth and getting sick after you told them not to eat those berries. The local, village, idiot who does inexplicable shit like trying to make all the round things flat just because he had a vision telling him to do it. You don't know how many jars you've lost to that fuckwit, and now you've got some bird's eggs that'll go great with the moose jerky and that asshole is eyeing your find. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the primary vector for malaria, a disease which by some estimates may have killed something like half of all humans who ever lived. So they're more than a slight nuisance. But without understanding why they were getting sick and dying, you're right in that prehistoric humans probably didn't realize how annoyed they really should have been by mosquitoes. When the girl you have a crush on goes for the literal Neanderthal. Standing in mammoth shit. Fucking mammoths owners. If you're going to own one, you're responsible for cleaning up after it. Always bring a shovel, a trash bag, and a wheelbarrow when walking near mammoth. Periods with no proper pads, tampons or painkillers available. Childbirth probably sucked. You'd be lucky if the mother survived, and incredibly lucky if the child did. Even today maternal and infant mortality rates are still quite a worry. The fact that good quality shitposts were relegated to the smooth walls of hot single caves in their area. You had me a hot single caves. Kids poop in eat corner and eat in poop corner. I'm not mad, they just kids. But they need learn respect cave then have own cave someday. Well, nobody likes a stubbed toe. They didn't have air conditioning, so I bet their balls got stuck to their legs constantly. I thought for a sec that you said hair conditioner, and I was concerned for a moment like, do men really use conditioner on their balls? Having to eat bloated ticks off their friend who fell asleep in tall grass after having 10 too many fermented crab apples. Bro, are you eating the ticks? Yeah. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? How else am I supposed to get rid of them? Squish them? Yeah, but fuck. Accidentally wiping with poison ivy. Definitely more than a slight annoyance. When you sneeze while making a negative handprint on a cave. When you come back home with a fawn you killed and your kid says, Gert's daddy killed a moose yesterday. When your deer's skin is slightly too short to make a decent top. When you tried to make a swing needle out of bones and it broke, again. When you told your father and husband to kill a moose and they killed a mammoth while you don't have time to cut all of it in the day, or the place to stock it, and they are proud of them. When your new neighbors went picking wild plants, and they even took the young sprouts, or when they starts cut flint before sunrise. Time travelers taking pictures or videos and taking souvenirs. When someone takes your favorite rock. Neanderthals would probably be real upset if they knew we all thought of them as hunched over and stuff. They actually had normal posture. The first skeleton discovered just had like scoliosis or something. For Mesopotamians, when someone steps on your mud bricks or clay tablet while it's drying, standing triumphantly over a slain mammoth, and one of the tribe shouts, "Meat is murder!" The dark. Imagine that you're in prehistoric human with your 4 buddies. All of you are hungry as hell. You finally find a bush with fruits on it. Communicate to your buddies this information. But not Hunga Bunga because he's a dumbass, he broke your stick. You all eat until your hungry is sated but prohibited Hunga Bunga from eating with you. A period of time later, suddenly all of you start feeling headache, weakness, diarrhea, difficulty breathing, etc. But Hunga Bunga is completely fine, just a little hungry. Congratulations. You didn't had idea that the fruit that you ate was a berry, extremely toxic that's. If you even knew that fruits could be toxic, and now everyone is dead, except Hunga Bunga, he's just hungry now and probably eating your dead bodies. All those damn stone tablets they keep finding everywhere advertising someone wants to talk to them about their extended warranties. Sand. It's so coarse, so rough, so irritating. It freaking gets everywhere too. Manscaping with a sharp rock. More than a slight annoyance, what the heck did the women do when they got a yeast infection? Those are horrific without prescription diflucan. You can't even walk if you have a bad one. They probably knew some herbal remedies, or at least some general soothing plant paste. Otzi the Iceman who died in the Alps 5,000 years ago carried herbs that have a chemical effective against intestinal parasites. He had a case of worms that he was trying to treat, but he was killed by an arrow in the back first, so we'll never find out if it was going to work for him. Minus possible bacterial infections, most vaginal yeast is caused by either too tight clothes, or too much sugar or antibacterial meds. I would think a yeast would be uncommon. Granted, it would still be wicked uncomfortable. When that load fucking asshole neighbor won't stop yelling yabba dabba doo. Getting something stuck in their teeth. Slowly whittling down a twig into a pick with a stone flake, only to have the tip of the pick break off. Now grog have to make pick again and 2 things stuck in teeth. Probably trying to find out what they can and cannot eat. Oh, look at this little bush with little orange fruits. Bam fucking habaneros. Now you're convinced you're dying for like an hour. Stepping on stone Legos. Saber-toothed tigers. Asking your husband to fetch berries for once because you're pregnant, and waking up the next day with twice the morning sickness because he didn't know the bad ones. Bugs. Like flies, gnats, mosquitoes. No bug spray, no window screens, no deterrent. I'm thinking about my girlfriend whose legs are constantly covered in bites after like an hour outside with bug spray on. How about pain more generally? There were no NSAIDs, anesthetics, etc. We're so used to taking pills to address our aches and pains, example, headaches, bloating, but back then you basically just had to push through it. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.